introduction to the D10 chart and how to read it in the first video in the playlist. You can look it up. But just to recap, the deities are the archetypes of energies which a person will have, which they bring to the profession in the D10 chart. Now, mind you, these deities or these archetypes are only meant for D10 chart, not so much for D1 chart. Okay, forget the natal chart for the time being. Only the Shamsha, the 10th divisional chart. 0 to 3 degrees leadership, 3 to 6 degrees strong work ethic, determined people, 6 to 9 degrees Yama, discipline, strong sense of responsibility, 9 to 12 competitive spirit, 12 to 16 excellent communication skills. Other things I mentioned, I'm quickly recapping. 15 to 18 degrees, they are very dynamic and flexible, quickest to adapt. 18 to 21 degrees, it's more of financial wealth, astute sensitivity, right? Accountants kind of. 21 to 24 degrees is ability to find purpose and meaning in life. This can once again apply to all kinds of professions, mind you. Just because you're in the medical field doesn't mean you're stuck in hospitals or clinics all the time. You might be able to bring a higher meaning, like Dr. Hegde in India, right? He's bringing a higher meaning to medical science. 24 to 27 degrees is intellectual capability and innovative thinking. 27 to 30 degrees is stability and long-lasting success. So mind you, all of these 3 degrees and 10 divisions in the D10 chart, in the career chart, are very important to consider. So any planet or point in those particular degrees will have a propensity, will have a drive in that particular direction. That's all it means. It will have that quality. Okay? This is very crucial to understand. So you should understand this when you're determining the qualities of the planet in a D10 chart. Now let's see Pushya Nakshatra, what it brings to the table. There you have it, the general characteristics of Anuradha Nakshatra, which are tying closely to the themes I just mentioned. So what are the talents and abilities of Anuradha Nakshatra, especially if it falls in the ascendant, right? The dominant factor, Scorpio ascendant in D10, or in other houses as relevant. We shall see that nakshatra, okay, by ascendant. So the first talent that Anuradha brings is research and analysis. This is very Scorpio-like. You will see Scorpio-like characteristics also. Scorpio is interested in everything deep, everything uncovering truth hidden behind the scenes. Scorpio, the traditional 8th house. So they may excel in research and oriented professions. They may thrive as scientists, investigators, analysts, researchers, or in roles that involve data analysis and problem solving. Now, for that, you got to look for Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars placement in Anuradha, or even Saturn aspects to Anuradha if Mars is placed there. Mars is exalted in Anuradha because it is Scorpio, ruled by Mars and Ketu, right? The second profession that they might be good at would be legal and investigative professions. They may excel in legal and investigative careers, okay? They may thrive as lawyers, detectives, forensic experts, legal advisors, or in roles that involve uncovering and presenting evidence. Once again, you see the Scorpio wanting to dig deep and finding out the real depth of whatever the matter they are investigating. They may be even police investigators. They may be even private detectives. Okay. More so in Jyeshtha, we shall see that next, the other half of Scorpio. Anuradha is a softer nakshatra. It's a Devgana, so it is more about looking for friendship and commitment type. But they can also make good investigators because there's always the Scorpio signature. Counseling therapy becomes the third one. They may excel in counseling and therapy. Anuradha, friendship with commitment. A counselor has to have a quality of friendship with the client as well as a commitment for their well-being. So they may thrive as psychologists, therapists, counselors, social workers, or in roles that involve helping others navigate their emotional and mental well-being. For that, you've got to see the planets like Saturn, Mercury, Jupiter, and Moon Moon more emotionally connected. For a good counselor, a good psychologist or psychiatrist, you have to be emotionally connected to the client. It's a very mythical thing to say that you should be disconnected. You won't be able to solve their problems if you're not connected to them. Leadership and organizational skills. This becomes a little different from the mainstream of Anuradha Nakshatra understanding. They may excel in managerial and leadership roles. They may thrive as executives, project managers, team leaders, or in positions that require coordinating and managing complex projects. Especially, there is a theme of sacrifice within Anuradha Nakshatra also, something that requires self-sacrifice. So, planets you would be looking for in Anuradha would be Mars, Saturn, Rahu, and Mercury placements. Again, you got to be careful how you decide the career path because it goes on the ascendant nakshatra, because Anuradha will keep shifting from house to house. Only in Scorpio it appears in the first house, but everywhere else it changes houses, as we shall see soon. Financial management. They may excel in financial management careers also. They may thrive as financial analysts, investment bankers, financial advisors. I would see more of asset management, joint assets, because eighth house is Scorpio, which is traditionally for joint assets, joint financial assets. So in those kind of roles, they may do very well when we talk of financial management. Last one is healing and alternative medicine. They may excel in healing professions. Again, it's a commitment of healing in terms of taking care of the other person. They may thrive as alternative medicinal practitioners, healers, acupuncturists, or in roles that involve promoting well-being, alternative healing, Reiki, acupuncture, etc. When you think of healing professions that involve some kind of a physical wound, like acupuncture is also a physical wound, or surgery is also a physical wound, but we are talking about alternative therapy. You have to look for Mars. Mars is the one who can physically wound, okay, in order to heal. So you're looking for Saturn, Mars, and Ketu placement, because healers typically in alternative medicine, you look for Ketu placement in that nakshatra, typically. Okay. Now let us see ascendant by ascendant how this plays out. So for the Aries ascendant, it plays out typically in 8th house, right? Anuradha falls in the 8th house, Scorpio falls in the 8th house, which has again everything to do with joint assets and business partnerships. So right off the bat, we saw there it can be financial management, it can be leadership, organizational skill as it relates to joint businesses, like partnership type of small entrepreneurships, right? But we have got to go to the ascendant for the clues. Ascendants possible in Aries are Ashwini, Bharani, and Kritika. Ashwini is more initiator kind. So that may be relating even to healing and alternative medicine, right? Ashwini is other side. They're twins, horse-headed twins. One twin is all into healing. And Anuradha, as you can see in the last one, has got healing and alternative medicine. So if there is Saturn, Mars, and Ketu presence in Anuradha in 8th house and Ashwini as ascendant, these people might be good alternative therapists like acupuncturists, etc. Okay. Another one possible is Bharani. Bharani Nakshatra is also about preserving something which is already there. Leadership and organizational skills comes to mind. Preserving what is there is Bharani. Research and analysis, kind of. More of Ashwini again, research and analysis. More of Kritika. If ascendant is in Kritika, also it can be research and analysis. They have got sharp discernment and they are also good at management, leadership, and organizational skills. Ascendant in Kritika and planets like Mars, Saturn, Rahu, and Mercury in 8th house in Anuradha in D10 may indicate management and leadership kind of role. More of behind the scenes also. More of a consultant to the CEO also. In Taurus ascendant, Anuradha falls right in the Seventh house. So again, business partnerships. If you're looking for D10 in career and jobs, it's more of partnership kind of. Anuradha is very good partnership because it is all about partnership and commitment. So if planets or points are in Anuradha Nakshatra for a Taurus ascendant D10, these people will be inclined to take part in business partnership kind of roles. They may eventually go into that. But once again, let's go into the ascendant. Ascendant possibilities in Taurus ascendant are Kritika, Rohini, and Mrikshirsha. Mrikshirsha is softer nakshatra looking for continuously searching for different kinds of knowledge. So I would think more of research and analysis up the sleeve of Mrikshirsha. Okay. Research and analysis along with partnership means like lots of researchers are work in teams, right? In any field, they work as a team together. Anuradha will be good in such roles. Okay. When it comes to Rohini, it's more finance. Rohini is interested in business. So Vaishya like. So financial management careers, investment analysts, investment bankers. Okay, bankers would be little. We'll come to the banker part later on. Financial advisors, yes, possible because it's in the seventh house. It's all looking at others. So handling finances, making strategic decisions, investment banking, in partnership roles, like private financial investment company, one of them. Okay, that might be it for Rohini. For Kritika, again, it is leadership and organizational skills. They may excel in managerial and leadership roles, leading a team, because Anuradha is about teamwork. In case of Gemini ascendant, Anuradha falls in the sixth house of diseases, right? If Scorpio falls there, automatically you might think for Anuradha Nakshatra, there might be healers. So healing and alternative medicine is dominant there. One of the possibilities. It's also a house of daily work. There might be possibilities of financial management. There might be possibilities of leadership and organizational skills. There might also be the possibility of research and analysis. So let's look at the ascendants. Mrikshirsha. Mrikshirsha and Punarvasu are Devganas. Punarvasu is all about business, so it will be financial management for Punarvasu. Mrikshirsha, it may be about research and analysis because it requires continuously searching for new ideas. No one does it better than Mrikshirsha Nakshatra. Analysts, researchers, investigators, scientists, that kind of a role. When it comes to Ardra, he likes to dig deep and he wants to go deeper and find the core meanings. So that might be relating to healing and alternative medicine. Ascendant in Ardra, in the D10, and planets have points like Saturn, Mars, and Ketu in Anuradha in the sixth house signify a very strong alternative healing capacity in the individual. Okay. For a Cancer ascendant, we have three ascendant possibilities: Punarvasu, Pushya, and Ashlesha. In this case, Anuradha is in the fifth house of creativity, creative intelligence. Right? What requires creative intelligence there? Research and analysis, definitely. Leadership and organization, certainly. Finance, not so much. Healing and alternative medicine, certainly. So in Punarvasu, it becomes about financial management as an advisors, investment bankers. For investment banking, any kind of banking role, Anuradha has to land in the ninth house. We'll see that later on. It'll come in some ascendant. So it's more of analysts, yes. Punarvasu can do good financial advising, yes, because it's ruled by Guru. So you would see the placement of Jupiter, Mercury, and Rahu in Anuradha, or aspects of Jupiter on it. For Pushya, it is more of a teacher. Who is a teacher here? Counseling and therapy. It's a kind of teaching. They can do good counseling and therapy if they have got planets like Saturn, Mercury, Jupiter, and Moon aspects and everything in Anuradha in the fifth house, while the ascendant is in Pushya. Sort of a talk therapy, sort of a talking over psychologist, psychiatrist, because you have to talk, you have to advise. Ashlesha, on the other hand, and Anuradha become powerful healers, again, alternative medicines, right? They may even become teachers of alternative medicine because fifth house is the house of education, creative intelligence as in teaching, learning, education. So Ashlesha being known for transformation, right? And it's a Rakshasa Gana, it's all about transformation and healing, as we saw previously. Now you have Anuradha Nakshatra dominance there. And if planets like Saturn, Mars, and Ketu are present in Anuradha in the fifth, they might go into alternative healing professions. For the Leo ascendant in D10, Anuradha falls in the fourth house, house of home, heart, homeland, family, financial management, leadership, organization skills, very Leonine in nature, leadership, right? It can also be into healing and professions, financial management. Fourth house is also a house of real estate type financial management. Research and analysis is kind of legal, not so much. Fourth house is not the house of legal stuff. Counseling and therapy, yes, because it's heart centric. Let's see the ascendants. Maga, Purva Falguni, and Uttar Falguni. Purva Falguni and Uttar Falguni may be more like leadership and organization. It may be more of research and analysis also, if planets are in Anuradha Nakshatra. For Magha, it will be all about leadership and organization, full stop. Yeah. Lots of leadership roles, project managers, team leaders, and so on and so forth. For the Virgo ascendant, Anuradha now falls in the third house, skills, skill sets, competition. Leadership and organization is competition. Financial management is competition. Legal and investigative professions are competition. Research and analysis, healing and alternative medicine are not competitive professions. You got to also see from that perspective. So what are in the ascendants for a Virgo? There is Uttar Falguni, Hasta, and Chitra. Uttar Falguni, it may be more of leadership and organization. For Hasta, it may be more of finance, Virgo, right? Hasta is interested in finance, financial analysts, in financial advisors, yes, handling finances, right, of others. Hasta is good with hands. It may also involve healing and alternative medicine in the third house. Why? Because third house is the house of development of skill sets. Alternative medicine people know this very well, that it's a skill continuously evolving in life. So Hasta may be also good at that Reiki kind of professions. Chitra Nakshatra, on the other hand, is more creative. Creative profession in this lot. More of research and analysis, I would think. Chitra. It's not very much up their sleeve. Chitra is more creative. But Scorpio is very internal. Counseling and therapy is one more possibility for them. For the Libra ascendant, it goes in the second house. The second house is the house of earned wealth. So it's all a wealthy house, right? Second, fifth, ninth, and 11th are all wealth houses in one form or the other. Second house being the house of earned wealth. If Anuradha comes there, which it does for a Leo, for a Libra ascendant, we need to go to the ascendant to check which one of these professions could be a guiding light. Chitra will go once again into finance. Swati will go into leadership and organization because it's very individualistic. Vishakha will also go into leadership and organization. It can also go into legal and investigative professions. Okay. Now, for the Scorpio ascendant, Anuradha lands in the first house, obviously. So all those professions are possible. So you've got to check out how do you assess from the ascendant perspective. Well, they will carry all these characteristics in whatever profession they will do. But then you've got to check for those planets and points mentioned for the drive and which nakshatra they land in, which houses they land in. Because when you talk of ascendant, then you got to see the splattering of planets which are scattered in different houses. Yes, that's the way you got to examine them. For a Sagittarius ascendant, it falls in the 12th house. 12th house, one of the things it stands for is hospitals, large hospitals, working abroad, working behind the scenes. Spirituality in a way, but we are talking about professions here. Humanity is not at a place where spirituality can be a profession yet. But anyhow, so Anuradha in 12th house will make it more about healing and alternative medicines, practicing on a large scale, especially with ascendant in Mula Nakshatra. Mula Nakshatra and Anuradha both are deep nakshatras. Anuradha wants to do for others, Mula wants to dig deep. Uttara Ashada and Purva Ashada will be of definitely leadership and organization skills. Okay, so those kind of professions, managers, executives, and so on, or even as lawyers, detectives, legal professions. Even Mula can be a legal profession. Mula loves that digging deep into things. For the Capricorn ascendant, now Anuradha has come to the 11th house. Community, social media, large masses kind of profession. Definitely, research and analysis doesn't come into large masses. It's more of an indoor thing. What kind of professions would come? Legal, lawyers, deal with lots of masses. Counseling and therapy, kind of leadership and organization, definitely yes. So let's see the ascendants. Uttarashada, leadership and organization. Shravana Nakshatra is more of teaching, so they might be more into what? Legal teaching, leadership and organizational teaching. Shravana loves teaching. Dhanishta, on the other hand, financial management. Okay. They may thrive as financial analysts, investment bankers. Yes, banking can be one of the roles because banking is a large organization. Ninth and 11th house in D10 would be banking area, banking sector, large financial institutions. In case of Aquarius ascendant, now Anuradha has come to the 10th house. So for Aquarius ascendant, Anuradha will become dominant. If there are more planets and points bunched in Anuradha, which is in the 10th house, it becomes a dominant signal of which the career might follow. Okay. In this case, let's go to the ascendants. Dhanishta will make more of financial management. Okay. Shatabhisha, on the other hand, will make research and analysis, experts at research and analysis, Shatabhisha. Analysts of all kinds, scientific, non-scientific, forensic, you name it. Purva Bhadrapada, on the other hand, will be all about counseling and therapy. Purva Bhadrapada is a very Brahmin kind of nakshatra. So they want to reform something, Purva Bhadrapada. So they can be into counseling and therapy also, or as social workers. Things working for a cause is a Purva Bhadrapada. Okay. Finally, for our beautiful Pisceans, Anuradha now comes in the house of banking. So banking and financial management, investment bankers, that will come in the 9th house. 9th house is for banking, one of the things. Let's see the ascendant. Uttara Bhadrapada, Revati and Purva Bhadrapada. Purva Bhadrapada, again, research and analysis would be good for them. Revati, finance and banking sector, definitely. Uttara Bhadrapada is more emotional, counseling and therapy, right? I hope this gives you a kind of the way my head is working in all these things so that you can, look at your chart and find out. If you find out something interesting in your D10 chart in Anuradha, leave your comments below. And next, we shall see something that comes after Anuradha, the second part, the Jyeshtha Nakshatra. Let's see that next. Meanwhile, take care, be safe.